Exam technique. This short presentation has been designed for students studying any business studies course because the likelihood is that you're going to have to be presented with a case study that you'll have to use in your exam. You should use a case study to obtain information that's going to help and support the answers you produce in your exam paper. This is where your application marks are going to come from. So it's quite important you actually read the case study, however don't spend too much time on this. So let's look at a typical example case study. I've taken this from an AQA exam paper. So as you can see, it's all about All Day Limited, and I've only taken a short extract of the case study. I'll let you read this yourself. You want to pause the video while you read this. Okay, let's now have a look at what you could do with that. So you probably read it. It may have taken you maybe 2 or 3 minutes to read that case study. So there's different schools of thought on what you should do with a case study. Some people say you should go and highlight a case study, and then you'll end up with a nice page that looks all nice and clear with a nice good yellow highlighter across it, but actually what else does it do? Others, like myself, want you to look for key themes, so try and annotate, get a pen and actually start drawing on the case study where you can find links to other parts of the subject. Everybody agrees though you need to be quick with this, so it shouldn't be a long process. So it all depends on your opinion on this. Now, my approach is a pull to pieces approach, and you're looking for prompts and hints that stimulate when you read the case study. So these could be things that you could use for analytical and evaluative arguments in the exam. So let's take a look at the example I've got here, which I've done on screen for you. So as you can see there, it says All Day Limited operates in a small neighbourhood grocery store in London and the South East. So I highlighted this London and South East so I know exactly which region it is. But the small neighbourhood thing I've thought about straight away. As soon as it's small, I thought lacks economy of scale. It's a regional business. It's localised. It's got brand loyalty. It's in a local area. Then I've thought highly competitive market. So what does that mean? That means lots of competitors, a price, elastic products. There's going to be low brand loyalty in some ways, so people are going to shop around. Predator pricing and destroyer pricing could be in operation. So I've linked them straight away. And then it says about how the supermarkets, they've got major competition with the supermarkets and they've expanded their grocery stores. So they are doing diversification. They have saturated their core markets, so their limits to grow their business are getting smaller. So they're looking for new markets to move into. You've got predator pricing that's coming in there. They're looking to increase their market share, but in new markets. So I'm linking that there. Unique selling point, I've highlighted that word because I think it's important to talk about that, and they haven't really got one. However, price competitiveness, well, that links into economies of scale. The bigger you get, the more economies of scale you get. So clearly the supermarkets have achieved these. And of course then, I've gone down here and it says about their market share and their profitability decline. So I've gone about impacts on their ability to invest and grow the business. It could cause cash flow problems. It could mean that they've got reduced ability to get economies of scale because they're getting smaller, so they can't buy as much in bulk. It lacks a finance to invest in marketing to compete with their larger players. And I could go on all the way through the case study. Now, I did that really, really quickly. You could do that straight away. I read it, I think about what links are, and they stimulate me. And I just think straight away, I write them in there. If you get into the habit of just highlighting, then all you do is that box I got there, it just looks like yellow, basically. That's it. So you've got to be careful with this. I think that you need the actual core content, not purely highlighting a page. But this is obviously your opinion of how you've been taught. Whatever you do, you've got to do it quickly. Okay, let's have a look at some common questions. So here's a simple question that's going to assess your knowledge skills. What is meant by the term USP? You might want to pause the video and have a go at actually answering this question, and then we'll look at what a good answer is going to be. Okay. What is meant by the term USP? Now, a good answer may say a USP means it's a unique selling point. This is a feature that makes a service or the product stand out from its rivals. And then, of course, I've gone to try and link it to show that I actually know I've read the case study. For example, in this case study, it could be the fact that they're a local shop in the southeast of London. As simple as that. I mean, that's a very good definition for knowledge. I mean, all you've got to do is say what it is. But obviously, I'm trying to show the examiner I actually know what I'm on about here. So hopefully that makes sense where we've gone with that one. Let's look at a common application question. So a simple application question could be, now there may be some data in the case, so remember I took a short excerpt, so I've just given you some data here. Calculate the monthly break-even for the business. So underneath I've given you the selling price, the variable cost and the fixed cost per month, and I want you to get the monthly break-even point. So what you might want to do is pause the video now, calculate it for me, work it out, and then we'll have a look at the answer. Okay, hopefully you've got into the habit of writing out the formula. That's really important. You get marks. That's knowledge mark for that. So the fixed cost divided by the selling price minus variable cost or contribution. You're getting knowledge marks for that. Then I started to put my numbers in. So my 5,000 divided by £1.40 minus my 60p to find my contribution. And then, of course, I've worked out that it's 6,250 units per month. That would get me all the marks. Let's say 4 marks or 5 marks. Because I've laid it out, I've shown my working. That is really, really important. But that's application. You're applying your answer straight away by doing that. Okay, getting a little bit hard now. Analysis, a higher level question. Analyse 2 benefits of the business increasing in size. Again, you may want to pause the video and have a go at this. So give me 2 benefits and explain it. Let's have a look at an answer. So what you could do is talk about increasing in size leads to an economy of scale. And then from that, then you could get 2 benefits of having this economy of scale. So you could talk about the fact that it reduces your unit costs and your profit margins, and link it to the business, get the application there. So we know that the business is having falling profit margins, so that's going to benefit them. If they can get their unit cost down and they can actually increase their profit margins, that makes them more competitive, something that they are not doing at the moment. Again, that's at least the next point. It makes them more competitive against their competitors. The supermarkets name them. It's important because the supermarkets got large economies of scale, remember. It gives them the ability to retain profits and invest further in their growth, and of course that then gives them the economy of scale, which then means they can buy in bulk, which then means that they get to reduce their unit cost, which means that they can obviously make increased profit margins, which of course then is a cycle which they can reinvest in the business and keep growing. And of course you could say it's going to increase their brand awareness and their customer loyalty, so there won't be a regional business, there'll be a larger national business. Again, they're all arguments you put forward. Remember, it's the linkages that matter. Get it back to the case study, but don't be afraid to link the subject content together. That really does show a good candidate. So try and do what I'm doing here in my examples, link things together. It doesn't matter whether you're doing a BUS 2 paper, 3 paper or 4. The examiner likes to see terminology that is linked to the subject. But remember, you're always answering the question that's set. Okay, but not least, an evaluation question. So to what extent do you think that investment in technology is critical to the success of All Day? Now you may want to pause the video now and have a go at answer that question. What I've done here, my answer is I've just given you a few bullet points to think about how you would tackle this question, because it would be too long to do in a presentation. Let's have a look at the answer. Okay, what you should do is define a key term to start with in your answer, as you do all the time. So say what technology is. Then you need to make really 2 points applied to the case study and explained. So you need to make 2 points, apply them to the case study, explain why. What I would then get into the habit of doing is counter-argue. Now, I always teach my students to use the word however, or on the other hand. I love those. To me, those are like really, really good evaluative words that trigger and get me excited. That's what I like. As a business bee, I am buzzing when you use them words, however, on the other hand. So counter-argue what you say. And then at the end, make a decision. Show me your opinion, what you think. Now again, don't present new knowledge. Just refer back to what you've talked about above. And that will get you the evaluative marks. Simple as that. Hopefully, been a bit of a helpful guide for you to tackle the exam. Clearly, I'm not going to try and reteach you what you've been taught already. If you've got different strategies at work, use them. However, if you've got no idea at all, then you might want to watch this back again and then get it into your head how to use it. Practice. Get some example papers off your exam board's website and actually have a go at annotating them, drawing out the linkages. And then look at the questions then and see if you could answer the questions from thinking where the links are. A good business candidate who knows their stuff can do the linkages. If you can't draw the linkages, you need to keep working on understanding that knowledge and seeing where it links together. That is the key skill. That's where your higher levels will come from, by making links across the subject. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter, it's @BeeBusinessBee, or check out my website, beebusinessbee.co.uk.